So I'm doing another Kickstarter showcase. This should be the second one. It's the Cracked Amethyst Tarot, and so I will read through the page, and so obviously you can go to the page yourself and look at it quicker and in more detail, but this is an ASMR channel, so the whole point is you're getting introduced to this Kickstarter if you haven't already seen it, and you're also getting a whisper video at the same time. So I recommend also you check out the previous Kickstarter showcase I did for the Skybound Traveler. They haven't yet met the 100% goal, and I really want them to, so because I'd really like the deck. Obviously, I mean for them too, but I'd really like the deck. Whereas this one obviously has met its goal already, but you might be interested in it. So this creator has created a number of other decks. I think most of them haven't come with a guidebook. You might have seen her botanical tarot with the B. It's like B-O-T-T because her last name's Bot. And I have that deck, but I don't have all the. She has like supplementary packs that you can add to it. Don't have all of those. And then there's an oracle called like the Phenomena deck, and some of her other decks you can actually have as add-ons for this one. So if there's older decks of hers that you're interested in, she's gonna have, or she has mini versions of those that you can add as add-ons. So let's go ahead and just go through the page, and I'll just read it as in a whispering voice. So this is the Cracked Amethyst Tarot, a modern digitally illustrated tarot deck. Obviously she has met the goal already, but there's still 8 days to go as of where I am right now is March 24th, but where you are in the world it might be a different day. Like I'm really far away from my hometown, or not hometown, from where I live right now. She's in Canada. I worry a little bit because I'm from the USA most of the time. I worry a little bit with all the stuff going on that something, I don't know, might happen between Canada and the US, but just try not to think about that. Alright, so here's the creator, Jessica Bott. Like I said, she's created a number of decks. She's actually created more than I thought she did. So here's the story. In 2014, I decided I wanted to learn how to read tarot cards. Being the creative person that I am, I figured the best way to learn the cards would be to draw them myself. Thus, my first deck, the Idiosyncra deck, was born. I had posted my progress on Tumblr, and my little creative project gained some popularity. I thought it would be fun to print a deck and sell it. This was the beginning of a decade-long tarot creating business. The Idiosyncra deck managed to get more popular. Many people enjoyed the simple artwork that the deck was illustrated with. I, however, did not. As I kept drawing, my art skills improved. I no longer liked how the Idiosyncra deck looked. All I could see were my mistakes. I was getting a lot of pressure to reprint the deck, so I did a second printing of the Idiosyncra deck, deciding that after this I was done with it. I didn't like the deck, and I really did not enjoy the pressure I was getting from other people, however well-intentioned, to continuously produce this one deck. Years later, there was still demand for the Idiosyncra deck, so I decided the best course of action, to keep both me and others happy, was to redraw the deck in a more skilled art style. Win-win. This is where we are today with the Idiosyncra deck 2.0, aka the Jessica Tarot, aka the Cracked Amethyst Tarot. A full 10 years after the first printing of the Idiosyncra deck, with the creation of 10 other decks in between, the Cracked Amethyst Tarot is the end of my tarot creating journey. We are ending where we began with my very first tarot deck. The deck, you can see the box here, is standard tarot size. I never know the stock, but some of you might. Printed on 350 GSM silk matte art paper. Spot glass accents for the border and card name number. Packaged in a custom box with magnetic closure. Yay, I'm a big fan of those. And not all of her previous decks had a nice box. Some did, some didn't. Accompanied with an 88-page guidebook, which is also some of her decks have come with something. Some haven't. Cards. There are 79 cards in the deck. The standard 78 plus one bonus card. The cards themselves will have a soft matte finish with the borders and numbers being in high gloss so they can stand out. And here's the major arcana, or like some examples from the Suit of Cups, from the Suit of Stones, aka Pentacles, such a beautiful deck. The Suit of Arrows, aka Wands. The Suit of Swords. And here's more about the guidebook. The guidebook will be included with every deck fitting snug in a box together. It is not, however, what you would call a normal guidebook. I have made the book to illustrate how my brain thinks and what it shows. I think in pictures, and translating those pictures into words can be a difficult process. If you were to ask me what a certain card means, I would simply show you the card that I drew and say, this is the card. I work best with diagrams and jot notes, so that is what I did. Some pages will have a lot of explanations, whereas others will have a simple sentence. All will have the title and keywords. For me, less is more, and I'm hoping that the spirit of what I drew can come through with what is included in the guidebook. See, as you can see here, the Lovers, the Star, Seven of Cups, Ace of Swords. All my cards are based off the standard Rider-Waite-Smith deck. So if you need more help, sorry, that's an ice maker. I am not in my normal location. I'm at someone else's house. All my cards are based off the standard Rider-Waite-Smith deck. So if you need, okay, I think it's finally gonna get quieter. So if you need more help figuring out a card, any tarot guide can help you out. I would have waited to do this when it was quieter, but there's only 8 days left of the Kickstarter, so I'm just sort of hoping this video is not too jarring with that noise in the back. Okay, so there's some more words. Bookmark. A bookmark made from one of the cards of the deck. A lovely little token of the deck for anyone who doesn't read tarot but would like to support the project, can't financially commit to a deck, or simply wants a bookmark. The deck, exactly what you came here for, one copy of the Cracked Amethyst Tarot deck with guidebook. The Mini Idiosyncra deck. The Mini Idiosyncra deck will measure 2.5 by 1.75, which I think is roughly like playing card size, I'm not sure, and come in a tuck box. There are 79 cards, same as the Cracked Amethyst Tarot. It's cute, it's fun, it can be cool to see the comparisons of the old and new. And just FYI, it's funny this is called The Fool, because I was fooled. I thought that this picture, when she said comparisons of the old and the new, that this was the old version, because it's the actual tarot size version, and that this was like also the old one, but like the art was different, more like simple, stylized. It took me basically until maybe 10 minutes ago to figure out, oh no, This big card is the new one because she was talking about how her art had advanced. She felt like she had gotten more skillful. So this small card is not like a simplified version of this. This is just what the original idiosyncratic looked like. And so I tell you that because that actually changed what I pledged. I was thinking about, or I was gonna pledge like all 3 decks, but I can't really afford that. And once I realized this, I didn't feel as bad getting rid of, or not feel as bad, I didn't feel like I was losing out by getting rid of adding the old idiosyncratic as an addition, because I didn't like this as much as I like what the new one's gonna look like. So, as far as I understand it, this full card, the tarot size one, is in the new deck, and this small one, which I already knew was part of the idiosyncratic, isn't like a simplified version. It's like what that was, if that makes sense. Like, I thought both of these were idiosyncratic, but it's not, as far as I understand. The big one is Cracked Amethyst, the small one is idiosyncratic. I know that probably means I'm dumb, but whatever. Okay, but I did want to keep this one after watching an older video walking through it. So you might just look on YouTube for the Amethyst Oracle. So the mini Amethyst Oracle is a sister oracle deck to the idiosyncratic tarot. They were made in the same style and intended to be used together. As with siblings, one is stable and the other is odd. I don't make the rules. Some card examples are Water, Earth Jay, Winter Omen, and Lava Lamp. The mini amethyst will measure 2.5 by 1.75, come in a tuck box. There are 44 cards, same as the original. And again, I was confused. I thought that the mini was going to like have parts cut out, but it's not. She's showing here exactly what she talked about up here, which was tarot compared to oracle. And so that's because I looked at the Amethyst Oracle walkthrough from a few years ago when the original deck came out to see like, oh, this is actually what the chai card looks like. It's not missing any piece of it. It's not cut down. It's just smaller. And seeing that deck in full, I think it is worth getting. It is worth pairing those together if you can. So stretch goals. At 100%, we're fully funded and you will get to have the Cracked Amethyst Tarot in your hands. If we dream big and exceed the goal, we have more things we can reach for. Fancy things, more tools in your hand. And so silver edges have been added to the card. That mini version of the original idiosyncratic is available. The mini version of the Amethyst Oracle is available. And if she gets to 60,000, she will make a Linderman deck to match with the two other small decks. Once the campaign is over and the deck is funded, it will take 3 weeks before I will have the funds available for me to use. Once I have them, printing the deck will take between 2 and 4 weeks. After that is the process of having them delivered to me, which is another 6 to 8 weeks. Once I receive them, I will package them up and ship everything out to you. Shipping from here will take around 1 to 2 weeks, depending on where you live. With that in mind, we have an approximate time guideline, and so she's hoping to get the decks out to ship by July, August. All Canadian and American supporters will have their packages shipped to tracking numbers, and to all my international supporters, the deck will be shipped by air just to arrive quickly, but there will be no tracking available. And a couple things to to note, like I mentioned in my last video, if you've never backed a Kickstarter before, just keep in mind to be patient if the timetable doesn't quite work out the way they hope, because there's always or oftentimes hiccups. So July, August, think of those kind of things as more like, hope to get it done by. Occasionally people get things to supporters earlier. Sometimes it's later, sometimes it's about on time. I think most of the time I've gotten things a little later. But again, that's just because, things happen. Like they can't control every, thing with the printer or something like that. And the other thing, I was gonna note something else. I guess that's it. If you want to know more about her, you can look here. She has done other Kickstarters, and often find that can be useful because, that means obviously kind of know the rigmarole, how things are going to go, or how things could or might not go. If you're a good big guidebook person, obviously, like she even says in the description, she's not, though thankfully in this one she does have a guidebook, and I'm curious to see her sort of creative version of it. I'm sure it will be great. But if you've seen my other videos, like I love these big old chunky guidebooks, and this is not that kind of a deck, but I still think her decks are worth it. Or some of them are. Like, I really like the Phenomena one. The Botanical one, like, I'm glad I have it, but I don't really use it very much. So anyway, that's just me rambling. But when I post it, I'll go ahead and put her link to her Etsy shop too. That way, if you like the style she has, you can go ahead and see like what else she has, and if there's something you want to order. So again, this is the Cracked Amethyst Tarot. This is another one of my Kickstarter showcase. I'm gonna try to I've backed it, but you can always with the Kickstarter take away or pledge if it had the Kickstarter hasn't ended. So when this 8 days happens, then I'll get charged. But until then, I can back out. I hope not to back out, but I need to double check my finances. Oh, which reminds me, shipping is always different depending on the project, and hers is a little more expensive, I think, than typically I've seen with others. I don't know if it's because of stuff with Canada or whatever, but I think it's 20 Canadian dollars, which I can't remember exactly what that turns out to American. So not a reason not to get the deck, but just sort of an FYI. If you see, it's this price, keep in mind that does not necessarily include shipping. You'll see that though before you pledge. Like when you go to pledge, it will say this is what the shipping is going to cost. So you can then decide, actually I want to change my pledge, or I can't do it, or whatever. Anyway, so that's the Cracked Amethyst Tarot. I'll put the link to it in the description, as well as a link to her Etsy page. And if I can think of any more useful links, I will add those as well. So, thank you for coming today,